Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Absolute BSS, the Casualpetitive podcast about Bandai Namco's Battle Spirit Saga. My name is Eric. I'm one of your hosts, and joining me today is.
Angel, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well today.
Welcome back, Angel. So good to have you back on the podcast. We were supposed to have the three of us, me, you, and Cam, on this episode, but unfortunately, Cam had a bit of an emergency. He had to go. He was actually already up in Indiana for GenCon and then had to drive back home to go take care of an issue with his dog. And so thankfully, it sounds like everybody's okay. He just has to take the dog to the vet. It's something with their nail, something like that. But it just sucks because, man, he was already up there, and we were gonna do a fun little podcast. But you know what? Now he has something to listen to. Maybe on the drive back up. I don't know.
Yeah, we had double the drive, man. Luckily, it's not too far off from where we live, so but
Yeah,
still a nice drive.
yeah. But I totally get it. I mean, yeah, his dog Mika means everything to him. So he's got to drive back home, take care of the pup.
Oh, they always say dogs are family, man. I have two Westies, and they live better, I think, than I do. Those dogs get everything spoiled.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's I I really want a dog actually. I've been thinking about getting a dog. I live in like a smaller apartment and it just doesn't feel right to do that to because I kind of want to get a bigger dog, I think, and I just don't want to do that to a bigger dog. But
Yeah, they need that space to stretch their legs, run around, especially if it's a high energy dog like Huskies or Labs, anything like that.
yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, we had a German Shepherd and man, he was a fantastic dog. I would love another German Shepherd or something, but a lot of work, a lot of work.
Oh yeah. I always tell people like if you're gonna get a dog, I mean, plan on spending most of the first 2 to 3 weeks training, and then from there on, it's like having a kid, right? You have to watch him every single second of the day.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's move away from the dog content and get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode. Um, so, there's a few things I want to talk about. For those of you watching the video version of the podcast, I have the Gen Con map pulled up on the screen right now. Obviously, we are very excited about Gen Con. It's coming right up. Hopefully, this episode goes out right before we attend. And then I'm thinking when we come back, we'll do another recap episode talking about our experience there. But for today's episode, I thought we'll get into the Gen Con stuff in a second. I thought we should have just like a quick discussion about the Pro Tour that just happened for Battle Spirit Saga. So, yeah, do you want to talk about that a little bit, and we can just get going on it? See what?
Sure. Yeah. So Pro Tour. Hopefully, a lot of you guys tuned in on Twitch and watched it. It was definitely a spicy one. I'll just say that I did
Yeah,
not expect to see, coming out of I think on the last few podcasts I was on, I was talking about Grand Open and how Axe Biter was coming a lot more in a lot of decks, and a lot of decks were running him for a lot of reasons. But Pro Tour was definitely the meaning behind it. I think
yeah,
what I want to say it was like six out of the top eight, maybe it was seven, were purple white Axe Spider decks or have some form of Axe Spider variant. So it was insane to see that. Me obviously being a purple player, I love to see that. I was tired of seeing Rex up there winning things and events. But it was definitely a fun event. I mean, I will say this. I feel for those players, man, because those matches were long.
yeah,
Long matches. I think most of all of them, just because of the way the deck plays, I think all of them for the most part went into overtime. I was joking on the side. The good thing is it looks like they had AC on there, so at least
yeah,
not as hot as Ohio. But
yeah.
yeah, Pro Tour it's interesting. Had a little bit of good, definitely a lot of good players. Obviously, it's a Pro Tour, right? It's the best of the best. Unfortunately, we had a cheater on the on the Pro Tour as well. That was a little interesting drama that happened.
Yeah, I from what I understand, and I by no just to be clear, like I don't know this person, I don't know much about them, but from what I was picking up in the Battle Spirit Saga Discord as well as the Twitch stream, the person who cheated apparently has been banned from other games, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't believe permanently, but at least for stretches of time for cheating. And apparently, what they did at this event is they had black sleeves and then used slightly different shades, lighter and darker sleeves to mark their cards. So, yeah, not cool.
Yeah, not at all. And like you were saying, I don't think they were banned permanently, but I do recall seeing somebody saying I think they got banned from Yu-Gi-Oh twice, and supposedly they had stolen a Pokemon deck at one of the major events back in the day too. So
Yeah,
unfortunately, it's a known person, and I think what really did it for the battle spirit. I mean, apart from being a high competitive, it's a lot of money on the line. I think he would have got DQ'd anyways because I don't know if you guys played in TCGs or any high level. There's rules, right? Make sure your sleeves are not creased or bent or anything that might think that you might get the upper edge on it. It's always recommended if you make it to the top or definitely the finals. Always receive, just receive it. That's the best case scenario. It does not hurt. Bring extra sleeves with you, because the last thing you want, even if you're not cheating, obviously, which hopefully none of us are, you don't get banned because the assumption is that oh, your sleeves are bent or this one's creased and it happens to be like an absolute ice shield, so they think you know which one's going to be. So it's sad to see, but it happens. There's a lot of money on the line. I get it. The sad thing about that player was I hear that he's actually a really good player and cares about the game. He's an advocate about the game in his local scene, and
oh
so
really?
just
Hmm.
yeah. So that's the sad part, but greed, money. I get it. $25,000 is that's a lot on the line. So,
Yeah,
but it's definitely not a reason to cheat, though, for sure. Just play
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. That's the thing is like, sure, you could win, but like, does the win even really matter at that point if you got it that way? I mean, I guess maybe if you're all about the money and you don't really give a shit about the game, but I don't know. It's,
It
yeah, it's
Yeah,
sad.
and I think what bit him in the ass, take a grain of salt, but supposedly like the five, I think it was like 5 or 6 cards only that had
Mhm.
different sleeves, and unfortunately those are cards that the white aggro needs to see. So it's almost like that kind of was also a dead giveaway. Either you were stacking or you knew exactly what to play around until you
Ah,
saw those cards. Because
yeah,
playing white aggro in a competitive meta right now where it was heavy purple white axe spider.
yeah,
White aggro is either awesome if you get everything off the ground running and kill it out, or you're gonna struggle if you don't get to see your pieces. So I think that
yeah.
was kind of a dead giveaway, unfortunately. So and he was escorted out. So guys,
Wow.
please do not cheat at events. Yeah, I guess he threw a fit, which I get, but just don't cheat. And like I said, it's always to be safe and sorry, and just re-sleeve if your sleeves are bad, or I know a lot of times the Dragon Shield and other sleeves, different boxes, they might be a little shade off. Just don't mix them. One new box for one new box. Don't
Yeah.
mix sleeves.
Sleeves aren't, you can get sleeves. I mean, sleeves can be expensive, but you can get sleeves pretty cheaply. So it's not the end of the world to do that. I do bring extra sleeves with me anytime I go, even to like local events, just because like if one of my sleeves gets a little scuffed, I'll just
Hmm.
swap it out and throw the old one away. Um, but yeah, other than that, though, it looked like a pretty cool event. Yeah, there was a lot of purple white axe spider in the finals there, and definitely some like slower, grindier games. The final game was pretty fun to watch. And by the way, if anybody, obviously there's the main Battle Spirit Saga Discord, but we have our own Absolute BSS Discord. We'll include some links to join that in the description of the video or the show notes for the podcast, depending on where you're listening. It's a Discord specifically made for our podcast. It was pretty fun. You and I were in there, and I think Sad Mango maybe jumped in a couple times, and we were just having like a discussion about the Pro Tour final match, and it was a fun time talking about it
Oh,
live.
yeah, absolutely. Especially because we all think we're the better players. So sometimes you see any player on Twitch is like, wait, and
Yeah,
we're like talking, hey, should have done that there, or they should have done this sooner, or
yeah,
but like I think I said on the Discord as well, like situational awareness is how it's a lot different, right? Like we're calm, we're not in the situation, so we're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, hindsight's always 2020,
We can
but at the
also
moment we could have done the same thing probably.
we can also see both players' hands, and even though
Right.
you can pretend like what would I do even if I didn't know this information, it's still hard to like think that. But no,
Yeah,
but
no, no.
it's fun to comment on it either way and be like, Why did they pay for the ice shield? Why did they
Yeah,
do
no. Yeah, exactly. Like
that?
definitely join the Discord, guys. You guys will have a lot of fun, and we share our amazing pools or our crappy pools as well on there, so you guys get to see a lot of that in the chat. It's a fun time. It's a fun time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how do you think the Pro Tour meta is going to affect Set Two meta? Do you think that this Axe Biter purple deck is going to go away, or do you think it's going to get stronger?
So I think a little bit of both. I think there'll be, you'll have at least the beginning, right? I think for the first few, at least for the first month, so things stabilize. I
Mm-hmm.
think purple, white axe spider, might get a couple bumps, right? Because you can ramp a little bit quicker now with set two. There's a couple flavorful cards that set two has, like I think you and I were talking about it the other day. I think it's called Infinity Shield or something like that. That
Yeah, let me pull that one up.
works as a suppression basically. So I think some of those cards would definitely help. But at the same time, though, set two you have green to contend with, right? You have the ability to exhaust Axe Spider. So yeah, we were talking. I think you and I were joking about. Oh wait, nothing gets rid of Axe Spider. We're talking about all these different cards on how to
Yeah.
deal with Axe Spider. And honestly, like apart from a couple Dream Bombs here and there, and all you're doing is just delaying it for one turn. I think green would be the way to go to at least exhaust them and tap them out. So I think it might not be, I don't know. I have feelings to be 50-50, but eventually it will be pretty quickly. I think green, yellow has some pretty good combos if you can pull them off that I think will do very well. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting how it shapes up. Right now, I'm leaning. I think for the first couple weeks, it'll still be heavy because most people will probably play it for a while until everybody's kind of learning the new cards, so they might get some easy
Yeah.
wins that way. But I think eventually, once people start figuring out, all right, set two, this works with this, and on top of that, you have the promos of these local game store tournaments. That some of those might, kind of like what X Spider was. We might not think about it right now off the bat, but a couple weeks or a month or two, they might have some spicy cards that will help out those decks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Infinity Shield, I've got it pulled up right here. It's a 4 cost 2 reduction white magics card. And it's a flash. Select one of your machine beast or mecha spirits. That spirit can block while exhausted this turn. So it's essentially you can have an additional suppression without the 3k buff. So you can still block while exhausted. So to your point, green can deal with Axe Biter a little bit in that it can exhaust it, but then now it has yet another tool to block while exhausted. So maybe that's not even quite an out. So
Yeah,
Axe Biter's still going to be a pretty prevalent card into the next meta, um, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a mix of people playing. I mean, even when I was prepping for, and this could be a good segue for our next segment here. We wanted to talk about our GenCon prep. I have been prepping for GenCon, and I was even thinking maybe I should be playing this like Axe Biter Infinity Shield suppression deck because that just feels really strong. But I decided I was like, you know what? I want to play with the new green cards. Maybe Axe Biter even slots into green later, but for right now, I just want to do like full on like as many new cards as I can because I just want to like test them out and have fun at Gen Con. But
right.
there will definitely be, and there's nothing wrong with this because it's a competitive event, so I get it. But there will definitely be some sweaty Axe Biter players there, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be. I've been joking around with my friends. I'm like, it's gonna be called like the people are gonna take Gen Con and make it like their own mini pro tour. Like, look at me, I got at least purple Axe Spider again. It's like it's Gen Con. Like that, and that's kind of where I'm going with it too. Like I'm torn between, right. So I'm gonna be participating in all 4 days of the event for Battle Spirit tournaments, and I'm kind of like perfect world scenarios. I was trying to play a different deck every single day, but that's not gonna work out because I don't have all the cards that I really want to play, but. I'm with you, right? Like, there might be one competitive deck in there that I'm just gonna try out to see how it does, and like, okay, maybe I can kind of build on this further on later on as like look at more and more cards and add to things. But at the same time, I want to play some fun, some fun set two cards, right? This is a way to just like it's competitive, but at the same time, it's not right. You're not gonna lose anything. So I'm more like, let me just have fun with these set two cards. Probably some cards that I probably will never play, the next grand opening if they're not
Yeah.
competitive enough. So just fun to see the artwork, see what it's talking about. I have a couple flavor decks here, a little bit of purple, a little bit of green. Have a little purple, white. Might splash some green on there. I was trying to build a crazy like full discard green deck. And I know I used a card against you when you and I were
Oh
testing.
yeah,
So,
Mushrantula.
yeah, so I was trying to play with that. So it's just fun. I mean, I'm just excited to see. I really hope that more people go into it. Um, kind of where we're headed, right? Just play with set 2 cards. It's fun. Try to come up with decks yourself, and the sweatiness will be happening here in like 2 weeks after that at the first Grand Open. So have fun at Gen Con. Play set 2. Let me see these crazy builds.
Yeah, I want to see what people can do. I just had this idea as you were mentioning that because you brought up Mushrantula and we were just talking about the Infinity Shield with Axe Spider. Man, you could make a very oppressive green-white control deck that's like Hunger Tree, Mushrantula, Axe Spider, Suppression, Infinity Shield.
Yeah, just like I'm gonna stall and block everything
Yeah,
while I slowly destroy your hand
yeah.
one by one. It's
Oh,
like
maybe I'm
that'd
gonna.
be a horrible.
I regret putting that idea out into the universe because I don't want to play against that. But
Well, even the green card, Fanglord Tree. I don't know if you can pull it up for they can see, but
yeah,
that card's a plantful card as well, and the Gale 2 is a powerful ability, and then it's level 3. So Gale 2, I told you guys another new keyword Gale. Basically, while this spirit attacks, and he's blocked, your opponent selects a specified numbers of refresh spirits they control and exhausts them, which at this point for this card is 2. But also, its level 3 is while he attacks, and if he reduces your opponent's life, you can select one of your opponent's spirits and exhaust it. So you can almost like tap out 3 spirits that your opponent has and push for game at times, depending how your board's set up. Or if you have a spammy green token deck, or even like green and white, I was testing like because they both produce tokens. You could have this wide board and then just tap things down and push for game. So it should be interesting to see how these cards develop as the months go on.
yeah. This card's really good. I keep meaning to try this and then I never do. But I maybe I should just throw this as a one of in my green deck, the Fanglord.
Do it. I mean, it's the time to do it. It's Gen Con. It's just to
Yeah.
practice and have fun. So,
Well,
and the thing about this set is fun and scary, right? It's not going to be a long meta, right? Like, set
yeah.
1 was about 6 months because it's just how, it's first set, all the things, development, and all that. This is only a couple months. And then right in October, we're going to get set 3. So,
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty fast paced.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to figure out what's good and we got to figure it out fast.
Yeah. But Green would definitely be a player in this meta for sure. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Green is that they gave Green some very powerful cards to start with because it's looking good. Yeah, let's talk about Gen Con a little bit. So why don't you walk me through? Let's talk about what you've been doing to prep. Either for the Battle Spirits tournaments or just like for the event in general. Like what are you packing? What are you bringing with? What are you thinking you're gonna play? What are you gonna do while you're there? What are your thoughts? What are you most excited about?
So honestly, this will be my first Gen Con that I've ever been. So I'm excited about the whole thing as a whole.
Yeah, this is my
Looking at
first.
the
This is my first too. So
oh really? Oh
yeah,
awesome!
I've always wanted to go, and I just have never gone. So it's too
Yeah,
bad.
and
It's too bad Cam isn't here because he can really give us some tips because he's been a few times. So
oh, he's been a few times.
yeah,
Aren't you, Cam? Next time you need to be on here, Cam.
yeah.
I think it's bad. I'm gonna start thinking it's bad luck that every time I get invited, Cam can be on. So it's just like, so what's going on?
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna say I'm absolutely excited for it. Just looking at some of the pictures and some of the previous Gen Cons, seeing the booths and all that, it just looks like a good time, right? Like all the different type of games you could think of for everybody, right? It's a little bit of everything for everybody. I think what I'm excited about this year specifically was, well, obviously Battle Spirit, right? It's another way to play the game at a whole different scene without being extremely competitive and stressing out for weeks. Oh my god, what am I going to build? It just kind of go in, have fun, play a couple of tournaments. I'm excited for the promos that are going to be given out. So those of you guys that are going to Gen Con, I forget what the booth number is, but check it out on Twitter. They're going to be giving out 4 promos, one for each of the major Bandai games. I think it's like One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, Digimon, and Battle Spirits, and they look really cool.
I've got it. I've got it pulled up on the screen right here for the YouTube viewers. It's booth number 3023 is the Bandai Co. booth.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
let's check it out.
it's in Hall F. So I'm hoping I'm not getting there till Saturday, so I'm kind of hoping that they still have some of that stuff. If by chance you're able to pick up an extra one, I would appreciate it. But no
Yeah,
worries
no,
if
yeah,
not.
I'll definitely check out. I'm not sure how they're gonna. I mean, I would hope they would. I mean, this is
Yeah.
a huge event. I'd be highly disappointed if they don't. So,
Yeah.
but I definitely will. So I
Yeah.
have that. So I'm excited for that. I only registered for the battle spirits because unfortunately, I wasn't even really sure if I was gonna go yet or not,
Hmm.
because it was new to me. I didn't understand the batch pass and how the events work. And it was all separate. That I
Yeah.
was gonna try to check out like Disney Lorcana and all that, but that sold out pretty quickly. But I'm still gonna check it out, see how the gameplay style looks like. I wish Cam was on here because I know he was talking about it as well. But I'm excited to see the different games. I mean, I think Keyforge is gonna be another one that I know you and Cam have talked about. So I'm hopefully I can have time to check that out, or maybe even see him play.
Yeah, I'll plug
But
Cam really quick on that because I know that that's one of the main events for him is he's participating in this big Keyforge tournament. He's going to be bringing his deck that he's played like over 200 matches with, and he's at like a 69, almost 70% win rate with. So he's pretty excited to test it out in a highly competitive environment. So I'm excited to see
yeah,
how he
that's
does.
insane.
Yeah, he might play. I'm playing in the Battle Spirit Saga tournament on Sunday, and he might play in that one with us. But I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't because if he's not playing in that one with us, that means that he made it to day 2 of the Keyforge event. So I'm really rooting for him there and hoping that he does really well. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean that is a lot of games, and I think I
Yeah.
remember wasn't he like at one of the events? I think it was a local. He was playing like two decks at one time
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that,
One
like that's
of
like level of baller status. I'm gonna play two decks at the same time. And I think
yeah.
he won both games, right? Like,
So I was at one of our local events. We were playing Keyforge, the new set by Ghost Galaxy. So Ghost Galaxy Games bought the IP from Fantasy Flight Games, and they've totally redone the game. Not totally, but it's the same game. They've just revamped it, made a new set, and we were all there for like the opening like locals night for this new set. We were all pretty excited to play with the brand new decks, and we had an odd number of players, and instead of having somebody have a bye, Cam decided that he was going to play two different players. So he was like Cam A and Cam B, and and he had two different decks, both of which he had never played before. And he both of those decks, I believe, made it to almost made it to the finals. So he ended up playing in the finals with one of those decks, and I believe he did lose, unfortunately. So he got second place with that deck, but then I think the other deck got third place. So he was both second and third place.
jeez,
Yeah,
hats off goes to you, Cam. You
yeah.
and your Keyforge.
Well,
You are the master of Keyforge.
I played against him in that event, and and it was insane. He was playing against me and somebody else at the same time, and it's not like I was really waiting. Like there was no waiting. Like I wasn't like waiting for him to finish up the other game. He was just simultaneously playing them both
My
with
God.
separate hands.
Call him the Rain Man of Keyforge. His brain, you see all these numbers and pre-calculated analytical data already in it.
Yeah, it was crazy, but yeah, I think he has a good chance. I'm excited to see how he does, but yeah. So you're playing in all the Battle Spirits events, and I know you mentioned a couple different decks, and you're a little undecided in your decks, right?
Yeah, it's just because it's I'm a purple player at heart, so I keep trying to build this mono green deck, and the
Yeah,
more I look at it, I'm unfortunately I didn't get everything I needed to be able to make that deck good. I need
yeah,
about another three of the queens to play the Ant Man token
yeah,
style deck, and then I was also leaning on this kind of like white mecha green core ramp deck, which I might still do. I'm at the point now where I think I'll build these two decks just because I have to have a deck list in tonight.
yeah,
And then take the rest of the stuff with me and then just sleeve up and build the rest of it at the hotel for the next day,
yeah,
that's probably gonna be the best route to do it because it's just too much pressure to try to like build everything and I'm start questioning myself or like try because I really want to try that two cards because once I go into the grand open it's gonna be more of a serious build for me. So I've been doing a lot of just fun twisty things how to play and it's weird, right? Because I've noticed with green and white they both do similar things as far as the ramp goes for the core, but I'm finding this hard at the end of the game. Like, where is the win condition for these two decks, right? Even with the Ant Queen, like you can spam a bunch of tokens, you can push for damage, but a Curse of Dragon board wipe screws up everything, right? So you're screwed at that point. I think you did it to me one time.
yeah,
I won't reveal your spice secret, but you
yeah,
basically board wiped my field and to that, I just run out of steam. And white has that similar effect to it. So it's something where I really need to figure out like what is the point of having all these cores if there's really nothing major I can do with it at the end of the game, right? Like where does the game end for me to win it? So that's why I keep going back to purple, right? Because purple at least you have a lot of different way outs. You can do chip damage here and there, board wipe. It does a little bit of everything. So I might just try different things. I don't know. I'm a mess right now. Sorry, everybody. I'm just a mess.
It's
It's like
all good.
building decks is fun and hard at the same time.
I totally agree. It's the most fun. Sometimes it's the most fun I have with these games is building my deck. But at the same time, it's also the most frustrating, especially when a new set comes out and you don't get everything that you were hoping you would get. And now you're just like, oh, I've been playtesting with this deck for 2 weeks on, Tabletop Simulator that has 3 queens and I only pulled one. So, like, what do I do?
Yeah,
That's,
and I think the frustrating part is that a lot of these events are usually right after a set comes out, so it's very rare that you're gonna have everything you need like right before the next event. So it's almost like, and even if you ordered it online, with shipping, it's at least 7 to 15 days before you even
yeah.
get it. So that's the stressful part of it. But it's fun. I forgot what the statistic was, but I saw somewhere where for the average trading card game, I think you spend 60% of your time. I think that's what it was. 60% of your time building decks, deck theories, and then the other 40 is playing the actual games.
Yeah.
So most of your time does go into your deck build. So,
But
which is, I mean, that's the fun of it, though, right?
yeah, I really like that. I like that mental game, that little puzzle that you get to solve. And then you go and you have this crazy new idea, and one of two things usually happens. Either it works really well and you're like, oh crap, this is like this new cool thing I can do. Or more likely, it fails horribly.
Yeah, and and I think that's the fun of it because in your mind and my work, you think you accounted for all scenarios, and then you start playing against somebody, and they're like, "Oh wait, I didn't account for all these little spirits," or "Oh wait, I didn't account for this." And it
Yeah.
just really helps. Really, that's the way to do it, right? You build it, you play test it, see how it does, and if it doesn't do well, whatever. But definitely in Gen Con, I'm just gonna have fun with it, and I think you and I would be doing a lot of play testing on tabletop before grand opening, just to really zone in on what we want. So. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely been my prep. I mean, between that and doing laundry, my suitcase, like you
Yeah.
were saying in the Discord, trying to have enough room in case I start buying things. It's just like because I'm sure
Yeah.
at the event I'm gonna be like, oh, I want to buy this or I'm gonna buy that. So
Yeah, I'm trying to limit. I don't know about you or what your strategy is. Like, I know I'm gonna buy stuff. I know I'm gonna buy way too much stuff because like there's gonna be stuff. I mean, I'm looking at this map right now. Like, there's all of these booths. Like, they're all gonna have shiny cardboard that is gonna entice me. There's gonna
yeah,
be
there's gonna be
some
so
new
much.
some new board game that has some theme that just like is amazing, and I didn't even play it, but it looks awesome, and it's like $30, and I'm gonna buy it, and then I'm gonna have like half of my backpack taken up by this board game all day, and then I'm gonna get home and play it and be like, oh, I don't know if I like this actually,
Yeah, it's
or
like it's
maybe
either
I'll
that
love
like
it. Maybe I'll love it. Who knows? But I know I'm gonna buy stuff. I'm trying. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to in my head keep my purchases to things that are either Gen Con exclusives or things that are not released fully yet that you could really only get at Gen Con. Like something that they're selling that it hasn't been like mass produced yet. So you could get like, some copies before they go out. But
Yeah, and that's kind of where my mentality is at. Like I said, depending on what is left, I might pick up a few of the Disney Lorcana stuff before it really hits the game stores, just 'cause I think my wife might enjoy that game. She's really big into the Disney characters.
yeah.
But other than that, like you said, right, anything like exclusive or like if there's like a Gen Con exclusive, whatever, card or promo or T-shirt or something, I'll get that just as a memory. Everything else you can always find one way or another on either
Yeah.
TCG or like for me, I'm afraid it's gonna be some amazing Gundam kit that is it's like I gotta have it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's gonna go like for like $400. And like, well, they go spend spending money for the week. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll eat hot dogs. Like,
Yeah, I like honestly, I may not even buy any Battle Spirits cards. I don't know because like unless they're like a super crazy deal, like I can get them pretty easily elsewhere. So it's not like I want to take up my budget or my space with that. Um Although I say that right now, and then I think I posted in the Discord, I was like, how fun would it be if we,
Sealed, yeah, by
yeah,
sealed, yeah.
buy some
I was waiting
sealed
for you to. I was
product?
waiting for you to finish. I
Yeah.
was like, anybody that knows Eric, he's lying. He's gonna
Yeah.
buy some Battle Spirit packs. I was like,
Yeah.
I've seen you buy multiple packs at the local game store like 5 times. I'm gonna go back and buy another one.
Yeah. Well, I was saying that out loud so that I could remember this conversation and be like, as I'm handing them my credit card, I'm like, Eric, remember what you said.
Yeah, remember I said in the podcast.
Yeah.
It's gonna see like a floating head of myself saying, "Liar." It's like
Yeah.
liar.
You're the devil on my. No, you're the
Yeah.
you're the angel. Oh wow,
Yeah.
you're the angel on my shoulder. Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Look at that.
fitting. So fitting.
I knew that name was gonna be good for something in real life.
Finally, full circle.
What about you though, man? What have you been doing to prep for Pro Tour deck, either deck wise or mentally wise?
Yeah, I mean, I've been packing. I think I'm gonna have one bag that's like my clothes and stuff that I'll probably just leave in my car, and then I'm gonna have my other bag that is like my. I'm gonna bring my Shadowverse deck because that game you can play so quickly, and I was like, I think I want to bring my like Swordcraft deck just in case there's like a tournament or something that I just kind of slip into, or somebody just wants to play a couple games. I don't know. And I'm bringing my Battle Spirits deck for the tournament, but I'll also play a couple games on the side. And then other than that, I think I've shared it in the Discord as well as on the podcast maybe once, but I also designed a game called Taproot. It's available now at thegamecrafter.com/games/taproot if you want to check it out. It's a game that I made and self-published on the Game Crafter, and it's just like a really light abstract strategy game for 2 players. It takes like 2 minutes to learn, 10 minutes to play. I want to go around and show that to people, and I'm going to have a few copies in my bag, and I'm hopefully going to like hand some of those out, maybe to publishers or to people that are interested in it and want to check it out. I'll also have some some business cards for Taproot if people want to check it out online or if they want to email me about it. And then also, I'll slide this over here for our video listeners. We've shown these before, but I did make some Mecha and Ant-Man tokens for Battle Spirits. And so I'm going to be handing these out. I'm going to be handing these out like candy to everyone that wants one. So
they're awesome, man. I know you. I saw me and Cam were able to see like the beginning steps of it and the finalized product. They turned out really awesome, man. So
thanks.
Definitely, if you guys get some of those, because those are exclusive right there. Those are GenCon exclusives.
These are going to be GenCon exclusives, yeah. And I'll just be giving them away for free. So if you see me, I'm wearing my Absolute BSS shirt on the video right now. I'll be wearing this shirt around the convention. So if you see me, just come say hey. Ask me for some tokens. I'll gladly give you some. Unfortunately, Angel, you do not have an Absolute BSS shirt, so we'll have to fix that. But I don't think we're going to be able to fix it in time for Gen Con. But
yeah, but for me, I'll probably have a hat, look angry, and a big old backpack. But you might see me around. you might see Eric. I'll take some from Eric and then hand them out as well.
Yeah.
Just to kind of divide and conquer. But yeah, I'll definitely need to get one of those 6 shirts because I meant to ask you last time. I need to get those so I can start, advertising, let everybody know, and get this community growing.
Yeah, I need to order some more. But yeah, I'll be handing these out. And as far as packing, this is kind of similar to when we were talking about when you went to the Grand Open, like prepping for a big event. I think it's important to have. I'm going to have some Pop-Tarts. I'm going to have some water. Going to have some Advil. Going to have some Tums, just standard stuff that us, millennials need in this day and age to stay alive.
Yeah, everything but maybe a beer or a drink in there. We'll be ready, get the stress going. So get some Pepto-Bismol for the tummy aches.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fully expecting to just feel sick a lot of the time, just because.
Well, I'm already feeling a little bit anxious, right? Because believe it or not, I don't do very well around huge crowds of people.
Yeah.
Especially people that I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like seeing some of the pictures from the previous years, Gen Con and any major like Comic Con or Dragon Con event. Yeah. It's overwhelming. Just like, oh my god, that's a lot of people. So I'm gonna be like super uptight, like strapped to my backpack, like super hold in, nobody touch me, like what's going on. So it's gonna be, but I think it's gonna be like day one nerves, and after that, because I mean, Grand Open was the same way, right? You're nervous, you're anxious to play, you're hearing all this commotion, people are everywhere. But it looks like a good time though. It'll be fun just to get away from the day to day activities and just be somewhere where a bunch of enthusiasts of gaming, whether it's trading cards or board games, model kits. I mean, a little bit of everything. I think it literally has a bit of everything that everybody's pretty much can get into looking at the events and people that are going to be there. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, are you a big board game player, or are you more a TCG guy?
No, I mean I play some board games. I mean, a lot of the board games that me and my wife play though end up being card games like Cards Against Humanity or Exploding Kittens.
Yeah.
But we played like Aggravation. I used to play Battleship. I mean those type of board games. What's the other one? Life, Monopoly, stuff
Oh,
like
so
that.
like
So
classic board games.
yeah, classic board. I haven't tried it. I mean, some of the newer board games that I've seen, which I call it extremely nerdy, and I tell my wife, "Oh, we should play this," and she's like, "Yeah, that looks way too much for me." It's kind of like you got to build a whole defense wall and all that. But I mean, I honestly, I'll play anything. I'm just a gamer at heart. When it comes down to video games, card games, board games, if
Yeah.
it's fun, I'm gonna try it and I'm gonna play it. I mean, really games like that. It's about the people, right? You have
Yeah.
a small party or get together, board games. I always joke if the power goes out, light a candle, get a flashlight, play some board games. You
Yep.
still can do something.
You've always got that. Yeah. I'm a pretty big board game guy, but to your point, like the really nerdy games, and there's nothing wrong with those, but if a game takes more than like maybe like 30 to 45 minutes to play, I just am not as interested. Like it would really have to grab my attention for me to want to commit, more than 30 to 45 minutes to it. So, but Gen Con is so huge. There's going to be some more of those like lighter weight games there that I've not heard of. So I'm excited to try a bunch of games for sure. Any of those games that are like, like the Twilight Imperiums of the world, like where it takes like multiple hours to play.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just really not my thing. I can totally understand why somebody would enjoy that because it does look kind of fun, and I enjoy playing video games for hours at a time. But for some reason, a board game is just it's like I get a little antsy. It's like a little bit too much
Yeah,
sitting.
yeah, and honestly, you can relate it to trading card games as well, right? Like, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie, like I love any trading card games, right? Like even this purple Axe Spider build. I know I've talked about it in Hearthstone. I play some control decks, and even sometimes I get frustrated with myself of how much control I have because of how long it takes. I'm like, my God, let's just get this like 20, 40 minute game over with already. Like, let's go. Like
yeah.
I'm just tired of just waiting, and then you just kind of like you misplay sometimes because you're just almost ready to have it over with. It's just like, I'm just over it. It's like I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, there's something nice about playing more aggressive decks in card games because you either win or lose, your game is over like quick. So
Yeah, and like I said, I'll bring my Shadowverse deck too. In case you bring yours, that way we can at least, if we have time, play a few games here and there. Because I haven't really played that since the last the store release event. And I know it's a major event coming up in a couple weeks as well for that game. So see what I do. I don't know if I'll do a Bizcraft or maybe Dragoncraft. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
yeah, I'd love to play some Shadowverse. I really like that game. I kind of like we were just talking about. It's so quick, so fast. Um, Super fun game. Let's see. Oh yeah. So as far as events, this is my first Gen Con, so I wanted some time to just like walk around and check things out, see what everybody's doing, see what everybody's up to. So I'm gonna roll in Saturday, and Saturday is just kind of my free day. Like I don't have anything planned for that day other than just walking around the convention center. I think I'm gonna scope out the map a little bit to like see where I might want to stop off at first, or like where I want to make sure I make my way to. Like over here, there's art show and authors avenue. That sounds kind of cool. Like I might want to check that out. I'd love to see some cool game based art or something. That might be neat. Maybe that could be a cool like Gen Con exclusive thing to pick up, is like some art for my apartment or something.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like
um,
I'm sure there'll be some exclusive stuff.
But yeah, but then like this area, I know you can't see what I'm looking at, Angel, but for the viewers at home watching on YouTube, there's this area over here where it's like Magic the Gathering. There's the Bandai booth. There's Fantasy Flight Games. Like this is probably going to be This is gonna be my home base over here, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think I'll be there too. I'm
Yeah.
actually looking at the map as well now. Yeah, that's kind of where I'll probably be living as well.
Yeah.
Going through there, it's a lot of indie games. I'll probably check out the Ravensburg booth somewhere for the Disney Lorcana stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, hopefully if there's enough time, I want to check out everything, right? Because I mean, it's 4 days, so either I'm gonna do very well in the Battle Spirit tournaments, or I'm gonna get, I'll be whatever X4 right off the bat, and I just spend the rest of the day just looking around,
Yeah.
looking at things. Hopefully, trying some good food, and hopefully they have some food around here. So, I mean, it looks like a big venue, so I'm very excited to see this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm only used to MTech. It's the only thing I went to down here where we live at, a little anime convention, and that was fun. Very similar. Had a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh booths and statues and Dragon Ball Z action figures and all that. So it was fun, and that was a small one compared to this. So
Oh yeah,
this should
this
be very fun.
this is gonna be massive. But yeah, that's kind of my thing is like you're gonna be there all 4 days. I'm just gonna be there Saturday, and then Sunday is gonna be BSS for me. So I gotta hoof it around the the
Yeah,
convention
you gotta
center.
absorb it all. Yeah, absorb it all one day. You better wear some what those shoes are, the with the little wheels in them, the
The
Heelys. Is that what they're
Heelys,
called?
yeah.
You need some of those. Start healing through the whole
Oh
convention.
man, I need to go out tonight and pick up some Heelys. Um,
That's
yeah, I actually am. I was thinking about that. I have a problem. every every time I get into something or I'm gonna do something, I need to like watch like YouTube tutorials, read stuff people are saying on Reddit about it and stuff. So I was just like googling like GenCon tips and tricks, and I found this great video where like it was like this. I think a father and son, and they've gone like every single year since like the son was like a little kid, and they had all of these tips, and I was like, oh, I'm writing this I'm writing this down. The big thing that they recommended was to wear a comfortable pair of shoes. That was like their number one recommendation because they were like, the hall is just so large that you're gonna be doing a lot of walking. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna pack my shoes. I'm gonna pack like some Gold Bond, just in case I get a little chafing action going on. And just like I don't
I
want
mean,
I don't want anything to go wrong here.
dude, that's the biggest thing with stuff like this. I mean, it's almost. I was talking to my wife about it. It's like looking at Gen Con. It reminds me of the time that me and her went to DC, and we
Mhm.
we thought that 2 days is enough time to check out all the museums and all the. Hell no, it was not, dude.
Yeah.
Like we walked so much on day one, and we maybe touched maybe like 15% of everything you can see on there, and I was like, holy crap! So definitely wear some comfortable shoes. Bring some Gatorade, some electrolytes. Because it's gonna be a workout. At
Yeah.
least until Sunday where you're sitting down playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sunday I'm doing Battle Spirits. That's going to be like the big, for me anyways, it's going to be like the big event that closes out the whole thing for me. So I think that's a pretty fitting way to end it. I'm excited. So yeah, I've decided I'm going to bring my green, it's mono green, but it has like a little bit of splash of like red and white for the magic. And it's running the Volcanic Canyon, of course, because that's like my classic nexus that I put into every single deck that I play pretty much. But yeah, I've got I know you were saying you were going to keep my spicy tech private, but I'll go ahead and share it now because I think a few people have figured it out. I was watching Cosmic's video where he was talking about the green cards, and he pointed out this combo as well. It's the Brand Boar from the starter deck combined with Lightning Aura, which is a red magic card from the set 2. And basically, and I've done this to you at least once, maybe twice, I think.
I think you've done a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a board wipe combo. So Brandbor, let me pull up the cards actually. We've talked about this on the show, or at least in some of our games before, I think. But I'll bring it up just in case somebody's listening to this for the first time. So Explosive Charger Brandbor is a 6-cost 4 reduction green spirit. Level 1 for 1 core, 5k. Level 2 for 4 cores, 9k. At both levels during your attack step, when it's summoned, it gains 2,000 BP during this turn. That's sometimes relevant. The other ability, though, level 2, when it attacks or blocks, refresh the spirit when it destroys one of your opponent's spirits via comparing BP. So basically, every time it kills something, you refresh it. And Lightning. Did I spell that wrong? Oh, no. I just need to. There we go. I pulled up Lightning Arrow.
Uh,
Wrong Lightning card. Lightning Aura. So it's a 3-cost 2 reduction red magic. Main effect, select one of your spirits, it gains confront during this turn. So your opponent has to block it. So with Brandboar, you give it confront, it swings in, it just untaps if it kills something, and then you just swing. You just wipe the whole board. So that's kind of like my main strat. I've got like some other just like good green stuff in there, like Emmer Ant-Man, Worker Ant-Man, all the classics are in there. And after you and I have been playtesting, I actually decided to add in the Map Butterfly. I think I'm going Map Butterfly over Fire Ant-Man. I originally
good. Revamp.
Yeah, I originally had Fire Ant-Man in there because he has really good stats. At level 2, he's at 4K, so he avoids Burning Force. But I realized the stats don't matter as much for this specific deck, because what I'm trying to do is board wipe my opponent with Brandboar and then swing in for the win. And Map Butterfly comes out for free, and I just have to stick 1 core on it, and then it's going to do the same amount of damage that Fire Ant-Man can do. So I think this is actually a better choice. So yeah, that's kind of the deck that I've decided to run. We'll see. You and I might play some games even tonight. I don't know, and I might make some changes. We'll have to see. But that's kind of that's where my head's at.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. I mean, like I said, the good thing about all this, I'm sure we're not the only ones going through this, because right, it's a unknown meta right now, unknown format. Everybody's gonna try a couple splashes of this, splash of that. Some people are either gonna go all green because that's the new color. Some people are gonna try to stick with the old because they just want to win. So it's gonna
Yeah,
be a mixture of things, but it's definitely, I think we'll learn a lot, and we'll kind of see at least where what's working or where people's heads are probably going. That might give us a small insight, of what the Grand Open will be like in a couple weeks after this. So should be interesting.
yeah.
I'll say this, like, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Whatever you were gonna say, go for
I
it.
was gonna say, like, that's the kind of going back to deck building, why it's so fun. It's fun, and it gets harder and harder, right? Because the more sets that get introduced, the more cards you have to go through, and how, let's say when we're on set 3, okay, what on set 1 kind of has synergy with what's coming in with set 3 or set 2, and it really becomes a personal style kind of gameplay that you want to have. But at
Yeah,
the same time, it's what works together, because you would love for everything to work together, and it's not going to. It's just not how it works. That's not how a card game works. So should be
yeah.
interesting.
Well, yeah. I mean, for set 3, we have that new yellow SPR card. It's like the 3 cards, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, all the 3 cards, or the 3, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the 3 cards. It's a burst that resolves on when summoned, and it has a main effect. This is what matters with it, really. If you have 3 or more other lander spirits, all of your opponent's nexuses lose their effects and cannot regain them during this turn. We know that blue, the new color blue, is going to have a like pretty nexus heavy strategy. So like that card maybe doesn't seem too great right now, but I might, if the SPRs drop pretty low, I might pick up a playset, because I think that card might come in clutch for set 3.
Yeah, I would definitely, any cool all variants I usually try to, because like, I mean, like you and I were talking the other day, Starburst Draw, right? Like
Oh yeah.
that's how some play in set 1, but not a whole lot. Where I think with this set 2, where a lot of the spears from a lot of different colors have when summon effects. So Starblast is just free draw for, so it's definitely gonna see play.
Yeah, Starblast was good in set 1, and I think it's going to be great in set 2. So
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah, and yeah, because before I would play Starblast in most of my decks, but I would also, depending on the deck, would swap it out for charged draw. But I think at this point, I'm just going to play Starblast. And that was actually another addition I made to my deck after you and I play tested. Part of that was actually because you kept playing Mushrantula on me and made me discard cards. So Mushrantula, when summoned, if you spend a soul core as part of its cost, your opponent selects a card from their hand and discard it. Well, this opponent selecting it doesn't matter as much if you only have 1 card in your hand, and that seems to be when you would use it on me. So
Yep, it's like you kept that card for a reason, especially when you're playing the volcanic, when you draw an additional card, but you have to
Yeah.
discard one. You obviously kept that one for a reason. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get rid of that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be like I draw 2 and then I discard like a brand boar or something, and then that immediately signals to you. You're like, uh-oh. Like if he discarded
Yeah.
brand boar, he must have something really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the 2 most difficult spirits to deal with going into set 2, one is going to be Axe Biter still, and then 2 I think is Queen Antrain. I think she is really really tough to deal with.
Yeah, there was that one game that I were playing test and she did very well for her. I think I won that game because you couldn't destroy her. I think that first game we played,
Mm-hmm.
and she did a lot better. If you see her, her second ability is just so good. I don't know if you have it pulled up so you can read it for
Yeah, I
them, but
do.
it's good.
Yeah, so for 4 cores, she's a 9 cost 5 reduction, and then you do have to play 2 tokens when she comes out. And by the way, in case people out there aren't familiar with how the tokens work, there was recently a ruling on the tokens that the tokens are not optional. They have to come out, and you have to place at least 1 core onto them when they come out. So if you have no other way to pay for the tokens than to kill some of your other spirits, you have to do that. So just keep that in mind when you're playing her, that the tokens are not optional. But anyways, it makes her pretty costly, but at 4 cores, she's at 12k, and at level 2 for 4 cores, during your attack step, when one of your spirits is destroyed, select one of your opponent's spirits and exhaust it. And you have all these tiny little ants. They swing in, they get smushed, and then she just exhausts everything.
Yep, and I think that's what I did when I forgot I had at least like 8 spirits, and I just all right, I'm gonna attack with this little guy. All right, I'm gonna exhaust this,
Yeah.
and one thing that Eric pointed out while I was playing, because I know it kind of gets confusing with some of the token cards because some say it, some don't. When the queen summons the tokens, they're not coming to play exhausted. They can
Yeah.
actually come in straight up. I know Eric pointed it out for me, so it's a very good tip to know. Granted, it would help if I read the cards, but you know how we card players are. We
Yeah.
don't read. We just play. So
Well, I totally get because I had that same misunderstanding at first, because the very first card that I ever saw that introduced tokens was Ant-Man General, and his text says that they come in exhausted, and let me pull him up for the audience there. His text says, when summoned, summon one of your Ant-Man tokens, and then it lists all the stats for it, and then it says exhausted. And so in my mind, and I think this is probably what you did, I just thought anytime tokens are coming into play, they come in exhausted. Like that.
Yep, I thought it was like a penalty for summoning a free, spirit. It's like, oh, here you go.
No, it's literally just a balancing mechanism on Ant-Man General and the Ants Strike Back. So those 2 cards produce ant tokens, but they come in exhausted. But the Queen, her little ants are ready to fight as soon as you play her. So you get 3 readied, refreshed bodies just ready to swing in. And if they kill your little ants when you swing in, you get to exhaust stuff. So she's just a brick house of an ant queen.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm excited for the token build. I don't know if you want to look up the card here. Eric's called Thunder Godmech Donar. It's a white card. I'm excited for the tokens just because the amount of flexibility it gives you. And when he pulls up the card, he can read it, but you can use your tokens to, help white do what white struggles with, which is drawing cards. And if you mix that with the Star Bless as well, that eliminates a lot of the problems that set 1 had with white, where it's just slow to draw, So now you can ramp, you can draw, you can defend, you can infinitely block with suppression and the other card that we talked about earlier in the podcast.
Yeah,
So
the
it's gonna be
Infinity
exciting.
Shield, yeah.
The Infinity, yeah. So
Yeah.
token's gonna be a spammy thing. So next,
Oh my gosh, you're so right. You can Infinity Shield the Thunder Godmech, and then his ability triggers.
Well, and he has armor red and yellow on top of that. So.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's a couple ideas I've been playing with for GenCon, trying to like build decks. I just haven't pulled everything I want. So I think if I get lucky enough and I have everything ready for the first Grand Open, I'm excited to hopefully do some spammy stuff with tokens. I'm gonna have to bring like a whole nother deck box just to fill it up with token cards.
Yeah, if that happens, if that becomes like a popular meta deck, I'm gonna have to start main decking Thunder Leon.
Oh yeah,
uh,
zap, just
yeah.
zap everything.
Although I guess Thunder Leon doesn't take care of the mecha tokens because they're 3k BP.
Oh yeah, they are 3K. Huh? So it's a 2K and under, ain't it?
Yeah. So yeah, those are going to be well, maybe Burning Force will make a reappearance. I um I think that Burning Force is not going to be as powerful in the new meta because the green cards, I know this is kind of a hot take, but the green cards they hit 4k BP pretty easily for the most part. So um it's going to be really tough to find targets for Burning Force.
Well, I think you would run Burning Force for the Nexus removal still, though. That's what I
Yeah,
would think, at least in my opinion, because a lot of these decks are still going to be. I'll say this: set two Nexus, at least until somebody comes to an idea how they work together. Not really too impressed. So I think you'll still see a lot of the depths, from purple. You'll see the possible the mothership, the rocket cities. So I think you might still want to play some sort of Burning Force just for those. Because unless I'm mistaken, I don't recall there being a lot of Nexus removal in set two that I saw. Maybe like a bounce back, maybe again, but that's about it.
there's the Emperor bird thing. I can't remember its name,
Oh,
but
the red card.
yeah,
Yeah.
it destroys 3 or 6 cost nexuses. But then there's also Vol Nexus Hazard as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
King Vulture.
King
That's his name.
Vulture. I'll pull that up really
Yep.
quick. But again, it's out of red, so it's like, are you really gonna play King Vulture in your purple deck? Probably not. Uh,
Well,
maybe.
honestly, I'll say this though: it's cheaper than Burning Force though, and it's a spirit, so you really kind of
Eh,
plus one and plus another. You keep a spirit on board on
you
top.
make a good point. You make a good point. I mean, if you put this in your sideboard, you play this for 4, you destroy their Netherworld depths. Now you've got a 3k body. Um, gains confront while your opponent has a spirit with a when summoned, so it could have confront. I don't. That's probably not super relevant, but yeah, you get a 3k spirit for 4, and you destroyed the Nexus. So yeah, maybe actually you're right. Maybe you play this. Maybe this is a sideboard card, or maybe this is even main board Nexus removal.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah. So like I said, at least because Burning Force it always gets me no matter. I mean, it's an awesome card, but it's just God, it's so pricey if you're not playing red. Like 5 cores is a lot of cores, but it's one of those situations where you will hope to God that you have board control at least, or
Yeah.
if not, hey guys, I said I think when I was here last time, the Feral Slash is still a very
Hey,
sneaky, and it's
sh-
even cheap.
shout out to you because I was how do I spell feral? I'll just put slash.
It's a FERRARL.
There we go. I was missing that second R. The I'm sideboarding 2 of these. I
Yeah,
was
this is on my sideboard for GenCon as well. It's such a good card.
I was working on my sideboard last night, and I heard you in my head. Like I heard the angel on my shoulder being like, "Eric, don't forget the feral slash."
Yeah, spice card.
Yeah.
I mean, so good. I mean, especially, it's not a bad card. I mean, literally, you can pop spirits that are lower. I mean, 3,000 fewer is quite a bit. You're hitting yellow, you're hitting purple,
Yeah.
possibly some red,
You're
and
killing
then
all the tokens.
yeah, and then you destroy Nexus that costs 4 fewer, which most of the relevant Nexus, apart from devs, are 4 fewer. So
Yep.
it's a good card. At least for now, it's still a good card. So definitely, if you guys have, I mean, it's such a cheap card. It's a promo card. I mean, I think everybody kind of fell asleep on this card, and it did very well for me at the Grand Open. So definitely play it for a little bit.
Yeah, I've got 2 of them in my sideboard ready to go. If somebody is playing yellow, I'm siding this right in there.
Goodbye, Blessed Cathedral. No
Yeah.
more.
Or, the Axe Biter deck as well. I could side this in to deal with the Rocket City.
Yeah, just
So
don't use it against me though.
yeah, okay. We'll see about that. We'll see how that
Yeah.
goes. All right. Predictions for Gen Con. What do you think? Anything you think is going to happen as far as like what decks are going to reign supreme in the events for Battle Spirits, or any like announcements or special things you think we might see at Gen Con?
So I think, well, let's see. As far as decks go, I think kind of touching back on what we talked about early on. I think it's gonna be a 50-50 split, right? You're either gonna have it's just because any game I play where a new set comes out, people will take that advantage and play the old deck still because those have been established, right? You know what the deck's gonna do, you know the
Yeah.
ins and out, you know how to counter. Where the other people, whether it's because the decks are not, have no synergy, or whether it's because they're misplaying because they haven't played with it enough, so
Yeah.
the other person gets the advantage. So I think it goes back to that 50-50 split. We're either gonna see some crazy new set two cards come out and win and show that, all right, this deck's gonna be pretty dominant and some things may be tweaked because it caught people off guard. Because vice versa, not enough people have played against it, so you don't know what the end turn combo is gonna be or what the end goal is. Or you're gonna have these main staple, 6-month meta decks that have been established. Especially now that the Pro Tour just got done. I'm definitely thinking I'm going to be seeing a lot of purple Axe Spider, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That they're just
I
going to
agree
win
with
because
that.
people are going there to be competitive. Which I get. There's nothing wrong with that. You make the drive. I mean, still is a tournament, so more power to you. But so like I said, I think this goes back to that 50-50 split. I could see it going either way. And also, as far as I mean, I'm hoping that, especially with the Bandai being there, I know Dragon Ball Z is going to have a big announcement. I keep seeing the Twitter countdown for that, so I'm not sure what that's going to be about. But
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
I don't know if they're
fun.
going to yeah, I don't know if they're going to revamp the game or if they're going to come out with an online version. I've heard rumor mills around here and there what that's going to be. I'm sure BCSS, they'll come up with something spicy. I mean, apart from the promo cards they're handing
Could
out,
you
which looks.
could you imagine if Battle Spirit Saga came out with like a phone app?
Oh my god, I would never do any work.
I know.
I'd be on there all the time. Because I gotta go take a bathroom break.
Yeah.
It's like, where's Angel? 5 hours later.
Yeah.
It's like that, dude. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just
no,
immediately
you're good. You're good.
that thought popped in my head, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, no, that would be amazing. But I definitely think. I mean, usually people take advantage of these type of events to make the big announcements. So like,
Yeah.
hey, exclusive this, exclusive that. So what it's gonna be, I'm not sure. I mean, like I said Dragon Ball Z is the only one that I've seen like leaks about or like supposedly whispers about that. But I'm sure Bandai and all these other major. I'm sure there'll be something. So it's gonna be fun and exciting just to be there and kind of be at the event as it's happening,
Yeah.
along with hopefully playing some awesome people and seeing either I'm going to be playing new decks, which will be fun, or I'm going to be playing same old meta decks, which is still fun, right? It just kind of, because I'll say this, set one decks are still going to be very relevant. So it's not like they're going to go away. It's just a matter of how do you tweak set two or how do you infuse it to really compete or be up to par with everything else that's already, been established as a dominant, which right now, Purple Axe Spider is the dominant one.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta promise me if you get there Thursday and there's some exclusive Battle Spirit stuff that you can buy, please buy me some and I'll pay you
Oh
back.
yes, yes, yes. No, no, I'll definitely, yeah. As long as I don't get yelled at, they don't say only one of. I'll
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
try to scoop some
If
stuff up.
if
So
it's limited to one of, I totally understand. There's nothing you can do. But if they don't stop you from buying two, you know, I
yeah, no, I got you
will
because you're not
be
going to say till Saturday,
to
right?
Saturday. Yeah, yeah, not to
Yeah,
Saturday.
that's two whole days of people buying and buying. So yeah, no, I definitely got you as long as it's not limited.
Sweet,
No
sweet,
worries.
sweet. Yeah, I I could be wrong, and I have nothing to base this off of. But I think that there's going to be something cool for Battle Spirits. I just feel like they're going to show. I don't know if it's going to be something that you can buy, but they'll at least show us something cool. Like maybe we'll get some sneak peeks at set 3. Maybe we'll get to see the last. There's like 2 more lore cards to be revealed, right?
I think it's hold on, it's total what? Is it 9 or 6? It's 9 of them, right?
Oh, is it 9?
And
Okay.
yeah, I think it's not or it's a 10. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I think it's quite more than that because I think they only revealed 4 during the Twitch thing. So
Yeah, so I feel like regardless of how many more of those there are, I feel like we're definitely going to see some more. Like the timeline just kind of makes sense. And the fact that they didn't reveal all of them at the Pro Tour.
that's a
And
good point.
I I don't think this is going to happen, but it would be so freaking cool if it was like, hey, for everyone at Gen Con, the lore set is available to you.
Oh my God, do you imagine?
Yeah,
So it's a total of 10 cards. So there's
10
technically
cards.
6 more that need to be revealed.
Wow. Well,
Which it makes sense because it's September is the release date for it. So
yeah. So yeah, we'll probably see. I don't know if we'll see all of the rest of them, but we'll probably see at least 2 to 4 more. I would imagine. So, but they'll probably post that on their Twitter. So it's not going to be like only people at Gen Con will see it. So, but
we'll just get probably all the cool like lights or like and now introducing.
yeah.
It's like and someone would talk about it. What deck do you think any specific deck or archetypes will come out of Gen Con
I
or
I totally agree with you. I think that purple white axe spider is going to be there. Um, I think people will be playing around with green, but I think that most green decks people are going to be trying to play more around with like Swift. Like I think
yeah.
like I think there's going to be a lot of Swift. I don't know how well that's going to do. I was pretty excited about Swift at first, but after lots of play testing, I have not personally seen that Swift is actually Green's strongest ability. I think that Swift can be very powerful, but only in very specific situations. And so it is helpful to have some Swift in your deck, but I don't know if going all in on Swift is the move. But I think where Green really shines is like ramp and exhaust. So I think that we'll probably see some surprise builds. Like we've been playtesting, but we haven't tried everything. So, I mean, there's some builds that I was messing around with that I never really fully fleshed out. Like I think Blessed is going to be a really, really solid archetype in set two. And there might be somebody who shows up with like a really, really good Blessed deck. I was working on one, but Brandbor kind of stole my attention, so I've been more focused on Brandbor. But I'm excited for Blessed. I think Blessed is going to be cool.
Yeah, yellow's just one of those colors that it's gonna do well at any meta. It just needs those 2 or 3 extra niche cards to set it over the top,
Yeah.
for it to make it a powerhouse. But I mean, yellow's scary. I mean, you guys saw on the Grand Open in Ohio. I mean, it made it to the finals, the Blessed. And then you had the Luster package on set 2 that I think gets a lot better. I'm not gonna say little, a lot better. And I was actually reading the Void Lord for yellow. It's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's up there with the purple one. It's gonna be scary, and it's only a matter. I'm hoping it's Cosmic because that guy loves yellow, and that's all he vouches for. So I really hope he's the first one to come up with something. But definitely yellow is like right around the corner. I think that's the only deck that I haven't seen like actually win something. I know white has won an event, red obviously has won a few event, and purple. So yellow's the only one right now that's left. So let's see if it beats the race between green and yellow. Who gets the first event win?
Yeah. I would love to see Green do really well. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to shake out, but I know there will be lots of Green. There will be so many people playing Green. But also on the other hand, like what we were just talking about, like being able to get the product that you need to play Green is difficult. So people might kind of slide more into those decks that they know and they already have all the cards for. Like the purple, you could play with purple, like Lamorak and Reanimate are kind of the 2 all-stars from the new purple cards, in my opinion. And so you could play a really solid purple deck where if you have like, Reanimate's a rare. So if you have a couple of those and then Lamorak's an uncommon, so if you have like a full play set of those, I mean, you can make a really solid purple deck.
Yeah, and purple straight out of the box, honestly, guys. I think when it first came out, it was kind of one of the better structured decks, I think, too. So it's not hard to get. And
Yeah,
a lot of these cards went down in price, obviously, because the meta's about to shift over. So if
yeah,
you go on TCG Player, a lot of the purple cards that were sort of up there have gone down. And, I was reading somewhere. I mean, it's pretty cool about Battle Spirits, and I'll say it over and over again. I was talking about my wife about this morning that you can play at a competitive level with Battle Spirit for under $200 and have
yeah,
a chance to win amazing cash price. I mean, look at the guy that just won $25,000. And I remember
yeah.
playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh was like every 3 or 4 months, $800, $1,000, and the price reward was not as nowhere near what Battle Spirit is. So,
I
um,
sp- I spent an insane amount of money on Magic the Gathering. I don't
oh god, yeah,
I
that's another one.
I never won any money from playing that game.
It just took money.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It just took
Yeah,
money.
I never gained money from playing Magic the Gathering. And same
Yeah.
thing with Netrunner. I used to play Android Netrunner, but that game was structured. Netrunner was specifically structured to not have like money prizes. It was like even the world champion got like a trophy and a playmat. But I actually kind of liked it that way because you know what? I do feel like what we just saw at the Pro Tour with that guy cheating, like that kind of thing was just a little less common in Netrunner, and people would let things like they wouldn't get so serious. I mean, don't get me wrong, like there were some. I was actually at the very last official Worlds tournament for Netrunner, and somebody did punch a hole in a wall. But but you know, other than that, people wouldn't get too serious about that game because there's not $25,000, $50,000 on the line. So, but I do, on the other hand, think that it's really cool that with Battle Spirits you could win money. Like it's super cool.
Yeah, I just, and then those of you guys that listened to that last podcast I was in of my experience, I had a altercation with a fellow player because, I get it, the stakes a little bit high and whatnot, but at
Yeah,
the same time, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it's a game, right? It's there to have fun. It's competitive, and what makes it fun is ideally is the community and just everybody. Just we're all trying to achieve the same goal, right? Have fun and make it to the top and win some money or just whatever bragging rights. It's just when it turns ugly, it turns ugly, unfortunately. But that's just human nature, I think.
yeah. I think that's a really smart way to look at it. Is go into it with like your expectation, like to have a good set of expectations to have fun at these events is just my expectation is I'm going to play some games of Battle Spirits and I'm going to make some friends and meet some cool people and maybe get a couple promo cards or something along the way. And if that's what you're going in there for, I think you're going to have a blast. I think you're going to have an amazing time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, like you just said, it's really about the experience. The traveling is fun sometimes too.
Yeah.
After the journey, sometimes the drives can be
Yeah.
exhausting. But the traveling, seeing a new city, like for example, I've never been to Indianapolis, so that's gonna be a first for me. Then Tulsa, I've never been there. I've never had a reason to go there.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go there for the grand opening. I'm going with Eric, so that's gonna be fun. Just to ride, talk, chill out. Eat some food. It's just that whole experience is what it's about. And then
Yeah.
you play some games, man. That we're not at work. We're playing card games with other people that enjoy it and just have fun with it. Whether you lose or not, whether things don't go your way, that's just the nature of any game. I mean, ideally, it's just there's some luck involved with that. It depends on what you draw, and a lot of it too. Unfortunately, guys, it's skill level. Some of these players that you play against. I know I did at the Grand Open. I play some high level players that have been really good in other card games, like Magic the Gathering, and they're well known. And they were super friendly, super nice, and the few games I ended up winning against, out of the best out of three, it still feels like a victory, right? Like I just beat a
Yeah.
very high level top player, and this is my first event, new
Yeah.
to the game, so
Personal
you
victory.
still, yeah, give yourself kudos. I'll tell my wife, give me a cookie, I want one. It's like.
um yeah, how cool is it that for the next like 4 days our only goal for the day is to have fun and play games and eat food.
Yeah. That's the American lifestyle,
Yeah,
baby.
that's the American dream.
What is this funny? Like I was talking to my brother. He's like, it's funny that what I'm stressed about right now, it's not work, it's not paying bills, it's what decks am I gonna play
Yeah.
at a convention? Like that is my first world problems here right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, life is all about problems and figuring out how to solve them. And I think it's always nice when you can take a step back and be like, my problems that I have are good problems.
yeah.
It's like I'm just trying to figure out what deck to play. But yeah, with that said, I think that's a good place to leave it there. So I'm excited for Gen Con, excited to see you soon here, Angel. And yeah, hopefully we'll have lots of fun and yeah, we'll have another episode out later on once we've had this experience. We can come back and chat about it, share our stories. And for anyone who wants to keep up with us, feel free to join the Absolute BSS Discord. Like I said, there's going to be some links down in the description of the YouTube video as well as in the show notes for the podcast. Putting up on the screen now for the YouTube viewers the tokens that I created once again. If you're going to be at Gen Con, come find me, come find Angel, come find Cam. We're going to have these with us. We'll gladly give you almost as many of these as you want. Like I'll give you like 5, 10, whatever, however many you want. I have quite a few of them. So really excited to hand these out. get everybody playing with these cool tokens. There's a little QR code on there that'll take you right to the YouTube page. So if you want to share the podcast with anybody, just ask them to scan the QR code. These are business cards that have some utility because you can actually play with them. So I hope that anybody who gets them enjoys them. And if you wanna follow us on socials, we've also got on Twitter we're Absolute BSS Pod, and I believe on YouTube we're Absolute BSS Pod or Absolute BSS Podcast. You'll find us if you just search Absolute BSS, or if you search Battle Spirit Saga, Absolute Battle Spirit Saga, whatever, you'll find us. And you can also reach out to us via email at absolutebsspod@gmail.com. So feel free to email us there. Best way to keep in touch, though, is the Discord. We're always hanging out in there, chatting, playing some games. So come hang out with us. All right. Anything else you want to add, Angel, before we sign off?
No, just if any of you guys have said our GenCon, stop by. If you happen to see us, say hello. Always a pleasure to be on the show. Hopefully next time, if I'm not bad luck, Cam will be on.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely have a lot to talk about between all our different experiences at GenCon, and him especially, how he does with Keyforge. So wish everybody luck, and those of you guys are there, hope to see you guys there. So it's been a blast.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Hopefully next time we're on, Cam will be with us, and he will be a Keyforge champion. And
yes,
we might have to start making episodes about Keyforge because people are going to be like, "Oh man, I want to hear what Cam has to say."
Yeah,
he's like,
let me break down all the numbers of Keyforge.
They're like,
God Cam.
Yeah,
that's his new name, the God Cam of Keyforge.
We're joking, but honestly, could happen. I hope it does. That would be so cool.
I wouldn't put him past him. He spent a lot of time and investment on that game, and he's played a lot of games. So if he deserves it, and I hope he wins for sure. So Cam, best of luck to you, buddy. Hopefully I'll see you. If we face each other, I take the win though on Battle Spirits. Okay, you can have Keyforge.
Yeah, you can have Keyforge all day, but you got to give the win to Angel on Battle Spirits, man. All right, but thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for joining, Angel, and see you later. See you next time. Bye.